Uh, yes, here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time on this beautiful day to learn about using LinkedIn for job searching and networking. As you can see here, as we'll move forward, quick little bio about myself. As Eleanor was so gracious to give an introduction, my name is Frank Sayano, Director of Academic Success, big just fancy title, meaning I work with students and career departments all across the country. I've been working with it for over 10 years now, very passionate about student and alumni success, especially since when I was looking for opportunities. LinkedIn didn't exist, right? And more importantly, career services helped me find out who I wanted to become and the strategies to be career ready. Fun fact: I love to golf, probably more miniature golf these days than traditional golf. Still seeking that hole in one. But we're here today not to learn about me, to learn about successfully using LinkedIn for your job hunt as well as networking. Just threw up the agenda slide as we will be spending the majority of our time today outside of this presentation and directly within LinkedIn, doing a tutorial actually of my own profile. We're going to start though by talking about the basics, and that's creating a strong profile. You can't utilize a system without having a nice, robust profile and then learning the ins and outs of using it. Speaking of which, one of the key value propositions of LinkedIn or any social network site is having that network there that you could tap into. And we're going to go over ways that you could find and build your network, not just those that you know, but those that you'll come across, similar interests and desires. And then really using it to talk about its value point from job search strategies. Now, there's so many tools, some that are directly for jobs for the college. Others could be similar platforms like LinkedIn. But a great feature within of locating jobs, not just through their standard keyword search, but other means as well. All right, so we're gonna go jump here, pivot, and where we're pivoting to is the standard feed page once your profile's created. You'll be able to see here on the left-hand side your profile. If you were following anything, that would be on the left. But you're noticing that it's similar to probably other social media platforms where your feed is directly here. Now, this feed's going to change and adapt, right? AI, as it knows you more as you build your contacts, but really pulling more off your profile. Fun fact I like to say is even the LinkedIn news, right? If you looked at it, this is based off things I search, right? Rather than just their main articles in nature. But I'm going to click on here, this tab, as I already have my profile up. Now it's going to look a little bit different when you go complete it yourself, right? You're going to first have to authenticate. It's going to ask like for an email, maybe two-step authentication with your phone, as we know so many do today. But then it's going to piecemeal you through all these little pencil or pen marks as you see here that I'm going to go through and tell you, in the sense of how to go ahead and build it. The first is actually to start with imagery. Surveys show that not only having your profile picture, but having some sort of backdrop, maybe your interests, or this is not our office location, right? But it is a freelancer of ours that took this photo and I wanted to give credit to this individual. It could be, even if you've had an internship somewhere, or my personal favorite, students using their school's backdrop images, similar like you saw in the intro slide that I had. But we're going to click this first little icon here to do the basics, right? Or as they say, the intro. Now, this is not a sponsored presentation by LinkedIn by any means, right? Nor would we ever suggest their premium editions, as you'll see. I'm not even a premium user, and I've been using it for quite some time. Maybe just start small to begin with. Create your basic profile, as we'll touch upon some of the premium things a little bit later. That's going to ask you, of course, for your desired name, additional names, nicknames, right? As well as being able to list in your profiles, your pronouns, excuse me. Now you see here your visibility to the individuals. Some people like to be private, right? But if you're going to be using a portal to network and to find jobs, it might make sense that you want your profile searchable by all LinkedIn members. And what I mean by searchable, I doubt anyone is searching Frank Ciano. I'm not that cool, right? And actually, there's another Frank Ciano with a way more robust connected profile on LinkedIn. But what they're probably searching, like when a recruiter uses it, as keywords, right? They might be looking for things like I have in my headlines. And if you came here and only showed to people that you were connected to, and you're starting off, no one's going to see your profile. So you have to make sure all LinkedIn members is clicked. Okay. We go down and then you see your headline. It's been very catchy over the past couple years, so much as so that as a premium feature recently, it says get AI suggestions, right? This is where I think everyone can be creative. This is my profile after working for several years, industry, what I do, and what I'm best known for. This could be as simple as, student graduating expected date, interested in X, Y, and Z, because again, these are things that it's going to help to be pulled into, right? I would prefer saying seeking entry level positions, seeking first internship, right? Some of more of those buzzwords. Now we're going to be asked current position, but what if I don't have any? You could add things that you've done, as we'll see, like volunteering experience, right? Current position. Don't make I'm a current student, because that's where you'll see here education, right? Where you could do a little bit more of expected graduation year. I have here, as you can see here, it shows industry, right? Because I selected, this is our industry, but you wouldn't have to submit anything there. Now, location is important, and you're going to wonder why, if we're living in this remote world, is because if it was an opportunity, say, for strictly in New York City as compared to New Jersey, right where I reside, the postal code that's listed is going to be very much important to pull into that. Now, you see a little strategy that I did here in my profile. I just said I live in New Jersey. That is not a New Jersey zip code, right? This would be a zip code that's smack in the middle of Manhattan, and I did that strategically in case those recruiters were searching by, filters on their end. They would use a postal code. A lot of, there's more employers in New York City than there be in the parts of New Jersey where I reside. And then a city as well. Now, contact information, I'm not going to click it right just for privacy. The users, even if I selected here visible to all LinkedIn members, you're not going to see like your phone number or your email. Really, what it's going to show is here, you'll see it up here if I quickly highlight just the URL, that in case you ever wanted to like include it on your resume, best way of directing users to. Obviously, go ahead and save. So now we have our top line information. But as we come down, what I love about LinkedIn is it gives us more, right? More so we could show who we are, our own personal brand, but also more, again, being able to be searched by other users and be able to have people that you connect with learn a little bit about you. Because hard just to do so from an image and a great smile, right? Take a little bit about yourself. Well, here's my LinkedIn profile, right? I'm currently employed, but you never know, and you always have to keep your eyes on the horizons. And I'm in a job, as you notice, within customer success, business development, a sales role, if you mind. You have my little about me talking heavily about the skills that are associated to the potential opportunities that I might want to go ahead and search for. Now, speaking of opportunities, let's actually go back here. You see this image that we could go ahead and upload, and you see things like add frames here. These frames, and which is essential. Now they have one for hiring. I think it's very used by like recruiters. Hey, look, I'm open, and we'll talk about that later. But this open to work, I'm not going to apply it because I'm sure my company would get very curious why I did that. Now you see this though, right? Frame visible to all LinkedIn members. I don't want that. You'll have the ability to make, privacy things later on. But as a job seeker, I always recommend, if you're not currently employed, it's a very popular thing to do is add a frame. And yes, I disregard. Okay. So then we have the About Us section. Now you're going to see activity. We're going to talk a little bit later, and I'm going to click here about the importance of building your personal brand. You don't just want to use a tool like this to just search for jobs, nor when you are engaging with individuals. It's never, hey, do you know of any opportunities there? You want to talk about something that's similar. You want people to engage, like your own posts that make it easier to jump. So this activity section Later on is where, if you feel comfortable, you could create some form of post. I'm going to show all my posts here. Sometimes I'm not comfortable, right? I think the last time I wrote my own post was back 7 months ago when the New York Yankees lost to the Dodgers. Hey, how relevant. They just did so all over the weekend, right? But one of the cool things about the posts is you also have the ability to go into groups that we'll see later. And then you could even just reshare, right? Comment and see all your activity there. Let's go back. Now we're going to come to experience. And for those of us that have experience, even though they say, well, it's not for the job that I want, every sort of experience has a story to tell. It's going to tell what you're good at, right? We've learned later, hopefully, that when you are applying for jobs and you want to match your resume to that particular opportunity. But if I click here, I'm going to show this is where you could tell and use buzzwords, right? What individuals' leadership skills and all that fun information that everyone is searching for. But this doesn't want to be your resume, right? Because think about it. You see your profile, you're now going to go ahead and apply for positions, which is going to ask to submit your resume. The recruiter on the other end would say, well, it's the same thing here. Why did I even do so? These are more, quicker, more elaborate also, because we know that a resume is ideal to be one page. Well, I have a lot of work experience here, and even at other organizations that I want to still show in the second tour of duty here at the company. That is very valuable and more valuable here, in case anyone's browsing, than I could ever fit on a one-page resume. Now, the cool part too is when you go and you add like your organization, say if you're working at, even to the smallest of Vault, but hey, I was at CVS or Walgreens, right, for a little bit, even part-time position, it will give you the credibility of pulling the logo as the logo. And if I go back to my feed and go up to the top, I don't know if I'm actually, yeah, I am verified, right? We're in an unfortunately scammy world today, so there are imposter jobs within LinkedIn, rare, but if they do sneak through, that is why LinkedIn verifies organizations so that you know when you're applying that they're real as well. All right, we're almost done with the account creation. The last couple areas it's going to take as well is to refine your education. This is where if you want to add projected graduation date, any activities or clubs that you might have been associated within your time at school, right? As I did. I even recommend a description, just a little bit about the program as well, in case you were applying, say, for a remote position at a company in California that doesn't understand how strong the CUNY system is, as well as skills and even media. Maybe you were, did a presentation in that stock market club and it was recorded. Add that image, that media, make it easier for people to learn more about you. And the last thing on our profile that we'll probably want to learn about is other things that might be relatable to potential jobs. Not every job is looking for that degree. It might be a certification. I had up here, as you could see, product strategy. Well, certifications, I went ahead and did a very popular course on it, right, to give me that credibility status. And then you're able to add things like skills. Now, this is essential as well. Not only will you be able to search skills as well yourselves that like study tips and all this other fun categories, but then you can get endorsed by them. Individuals, as you build your network, will say, yeah, I was in that study group with Frank, did a great job at time management, and go ahead and endorse there. Now, endorses are different than recommendations. You'll always hear in any organization you apply for is, eventually we're going to ask for, references. No longer the days that you have to add on your resume references upon demand because everyone's thinking they're going to get one. This is where you could actually add recommendations from peers that you might have worked with or studied with. And I think it's also a great way as individuals continue to bond with some connection to say, hey, I would love to, talk highly about you. Would you do the same about me? And then other categories, languages, and as you build things like groups and companies, as we'll show as we go forward, they'll also be added here to your profile. All right, we're going to jump here. So now we understand the basics of creating the profile. Your profile is now robust, and now where do we go? Well, we want to start using it to discover, right? Yes, jobs are great, and actually the most popular tends you'll click here, and you'll take you to your jobs category as you see. But in jobs first, it's a nice little pivot or vault to the networking aspect behind it. Because when you click jobs, and first and foremost, these top job picks for you, they're going to evolve over time, right? Your first ones are not going to really have that much algorithm behind it. It's not going to know what you're searching. Your profile, is continuing just going to be built out. So these things will rotate. We'll get to show all. But when we come to jobs, one thing I love is this thing little that says My Career Insights. So I open it up already, and My Career Insights, from your profile and being able to search and learn about companies that you might save, it's going to help give you, and a great feature here, things like courses, right, that might make you stronger. But you see this area that says people who might be able to help. Now, these individuals here, I don't really know Jen. Jen is labeled as a second connection to me. What means is that these two people here are mutual connections. Networking is a core aspect of any job, as well as just, I think, friendship as well, right? And if I wanted to directly connect with Jen, more likely than not, I would reach out to Alicia Jose here and say, hey, have you been? I noticed that you and Jen are connections. Would you be able to make an introduction? I'm interested as she has a very similar title to me, and I'm thinking about going into the higher ed market, right? This is a key power, and you could continue to show more and more, and it's going to grow in time as you build your connections. LinkedIn also allows you to see what they'll consider third connections. That's a little bit farther degree of separation, but might be something like shared courseware company as well. All right, we're gonna go into right here. Do I have it open? Yes. So I'm gonna go back to my feed. One of the powers of LinkedIn as well is to do any sort of searching within here, right? You'll see your recent. I did a search for accounting entry level jobs. Already have it open here, and you notice here that I filtered by groups. You also have other filters, which is most popular, probably the jobs, right? And even if you clicked all, jobs tend to be the first thing that is shown. But you see things like people post, schools, right? This is where we're going to now manipulate some stuff and talk about how to use all this great data to find people with that common interest. So, entry accounting jobs, I'm going to search for groups. Is there any groups around that? Oh, there is, right? Maybe not going to Canada, that's okay. But as you continue to scroll, you'll see other ones, some large, some small, some ones that are request to join, others are not. And you know what? This is a really great way to learn about, this group. Come here, see if there's any individuals I could directly contact, right? Hey, instead of just press and join, Valentine, I'd love to learn more about this group and how you help, students get entry level jobs. Hopefully, Valentine goes ahead of respondents, but normally in a world that we are today, that admin would. Just another core functionality of the platform. Okay, now I'm going to do a quick search here. Just want to make sure spelling right. Here we go. All right. There we go. Yep. So look, I didn't spell it right. You could see I forgot the S, but anywho, it found it. Now I'm going to do a search for Queens College. Okay, so I'm doing searches based off keywords for groups. We saw that we could filter and even go a little bit more granular to see, filtering and do maybe a keyword like a Queens College. But companies as well as schools, as we see here, they have their own pages. And sure, they'll show people, but let's actually click into that page real quickly. In the page, you'll see some cool information about the organization, their recent posts as well, so you could stay active. Things like upcoming events, right? Here's a virtual information session. Anyone that's interested in going to the School of Business. But you see here alumni and graduates of a certain year. That's the year I graduated. Thanks, LinkedIn, for calling me out. But I'm going to click up here. Yes, we'll have jobs. I'm going to show you that in a company. But for this scenario, our alma mater, we want to go ahead and potentially tap into. Now, I mentioned earlier, you do not want to just tap on someone's shoulder and say, do you know any jobs at Northwell Health? This ability here within LinkedIn, I'm going to click show more, really ties down into the filtering. So that's a lot of alumni. Oof, I don't know how many I could talk to. And you know what? I don't know where I want to work. Yeah, I want to maybe work in some of these areas, but I'll get to that later. Right? We just continue to scroll. You got to click up here. Sorry. You'll see then what do they do and where they're skilled and what they studied, even how you're connected, but I think that's less important for now. Ah, all right. Well, you know what? I'm interested in accounting, right? There we go. It's going to scale down. Whoa, 100,000 now dropped us down to roughly five, right? Well, let's continue this process. I want to know, not only that, did they study accounting or are they just, more on the finance side? But if we just use this quick little buffer, we now go back to employers. Now we are going to say, all right, I've seen this employer at our career fair, or they're posting jobs as well in external sources. Let me click as well. What do you know? Now I got down to a more realistic number. You scroll down below and it will then show the people you may know, right? And oh, where are their last names? Why can I see Christine's here as Renee? I could only see last name, like the initial. We talked about privacy settings and when individuals set up, but it still gives us the ability to connect as well message. Now everyone's going to say message, isn't that a premium feature? But I'm not going to do so because not to alarm Renee. But if you went ahead and press connect, the connect section will allow you, not an instant connect, right? To go ahead and give, I believe it's like a certain character limit, but enough of a character limit to say, hi, Renee, I'm a student at Queens College, would love to learn more about your role at CBiz, right? Oh, this is great because now the person is not saying, you're just asking for jobs. You want to learn more about a tax manager, as one day, if you continue within that field, that's where you'll most likely end up. You also then see the connection there as well. So then you could, ask Danielle here if you can make the introduction, but you could always send your message and hey, it's not going to work every single time. Maybe Renee's not as active on LinkedIn anymore, but you will get the ability to connect, start learning more. And then the cool part is too about these companies. So let's use CBiz as the example. I could then now go ahead and search CBiz, come to this platform, right? They have a profile too. Not as many followers, as Queens College. So take that. You come here though, same thing. Posts, people, right? Jobs as well. But I'm going to get us to jobs. Don't worry. But let's first talk about people, because now these people, right? Okay, I can now filter again by Queens College, but maybe go a little bit further because why does that have to be the common interest, right? Why can't it be the interests of accounting, location, right? And continue to say, hey, look, I am very interested in learning more. All right, but the learning more really comes down to you could do your due diligence on this organization, connect with people. In fact, this is not meant to be a plug of Vault, but Vault experts teaching you how to go ahead and learn using LinkedIn. I highlight here at the bottom of the page, and we'll share it afterwards as well if you haven't already done so. This is the college's branded Vault portal that actually has some really cool information in just like company profiles, and CBiz is actually one of them. I know just from doing a lot of these calls and doing a lot of insight research within. So now we're on that company profile. And we could have maybe got there from following a group, seeing someone else post, all the methods that we referenced. Cool part too is then you'll actually be able to see even more jobs, right? Because they really want you to look at the jobs. That's what these companies pay big bucks LinkedIn to. So I'm going to click jobs and whoa, they have a lot of job openings. That doesn't mean I'm not going to go to the CBiz career page, right? If you come back home, they kind of hide it here, LinkedIn. They don't want you to leave. But if you came, I would suggest you go there. You find that careers page there because CBiz might be paying, LinkedIn for all the jobs, these 3+ that they're hosting. They might keep some themselves as well because we need to now know how we're going to apply for this job. Let's just go and see all of them here. Recent job postings, right? I always say it's smarter to filter by a recent rather than something that's been there a while. Maybe someone forgot, to take it down, or it runs for a couple. All right, so now we're in a standard job search. The little job filter here within the component. Biggest thing I like to say, if you're really interested in an organization and a particular like internship or entry level, set the alert, right? Doesn't mean don't come back and use LinkedIn, but set the alert so that when there's a new position or something changes on this profile, like a new contact, you'll get the alert so you could always go in and be the quickest one to go ahead and apply. You'll see those. This again will be tailored based off things like pulling that they find best, but I'll just click on this one for director client relation management, which actually seems like a good fit and says to like that my profile matches some of the requirements. Now you see this little icon here, right? I'm going to go ahead and click it. And what is it taking me to do? It's just saying, hey, do you want to show your profile? It increases your chance of being viewed, right? It's basically telling the person that came here and posted this job through LinkedIn, hey, I looked at it, right? Like, come here and you can see who looked at your profile. Cool part is that you could show who you could reach out. Again, people that might know. Sometimes that's also even the person that is posting the position, right? Now, I want to get us to another profile here because you're noticing it said, "Did you apply?" And the reason for that is CBiz is posting the job through LinkedIn, but they're not using LinkedIn to track the job, right? It's telling me to go apply back on that CBiz profile as they'll use their own tracking and an applicant tracking system there. So we're just going to go back. We're going to click back on the jobs, and I'm going to take the first one that I could see with the keyword that says like easy apply, as you can see here. After school program director. It doesn't seem like a good fit, but it is noticing that I worked at the YMCA for years. All right. You see this easy apply. First of all, it has the same formatting. Learn about the job, the requirements, the skills, compensation, if in a territory that allows, requires, I should say, them to post compensation, as you know, that so many job postings don't, as organizations try to hide that to, get the best deal for them, unfortunately. But this one has the easy apply. And if I clicked on the easy apply, it's going to pull in, right, the profile information that I was trying to hide from you. You could also, if you had like an additional email, right, maybe, secondary, you click next. I'm not going to do so. And it's going to show your resumes on file. Now, I am not a big believer in this. I'm a believer that you should go ahead and still upload a new resume. Statistic disregard, right? Stats will show that I just mentioned ATS. Here's your applicant tracking system. Why wouldn't you take the job functions, as you can see here, copy and paste them and compare them to your current resume? You could see here already some buzzwords, right, that they're looking for. Strong relationships. If I don't have in my resume relationship bizzer, I would be fool, right? Because the ATS won't go ahead and click. So even though it has an easy apply, if you are gonna, take time, if it's a job that you're just really interested in, maybe don't just use your standard resume. Continue to upload, save the file even as resume and after school program company, whatever it be, so you don't miss attach. But it really is a great way that recruiters like to see because you got to think about it. How many people they're showing it, right? 1 week, 60 cents applicants, and these are applicants just through LinkedIn. We know of tools like Indeed and others alike where people might be finding it from really going to their main page, right? So it's a way of separating yourself from the crowd. All right, we're gonna go back to the home page, and in fact, go back into jobs. I want to find one as well that you'll see an actual point of contact on a position. So let's get this to actually load LinkedIn. All right. I actually have one up in here. Okay, so we're gonna scroll down. It said the top picks for you, right? Thing I want you to also understand is that LinkedIn will be looking to make money as well. So even though these organizations are paying for job postings, they're probably also paying to be a little bit boosted. If we ever heard that expression, right? Or you see here the promoted area. This is more on like companies that are telling us skill sets and stuff that might be a good fit for me, but maybe it's just those in high demand. It talks about the premium sections as well. You could actually show all those that are the easy apply. And then more jobs for you. This will start growing too, knowing your personality, what you put, and as well as what you're searching within. Let's go real quick before we go back in the slide deck. I am a big believer as you get very comfortable within the site, LinkedIn, to talk a little bit, share experiences. This here is the ability to talk if you maybe had media content. I want to be more like a branding. I pointed that out for anyone that's interested in like social media careers. You should be doing that. But at a minimum, doing some posts, right? If it's commencement and it's you're on campus and you're seeing your peers and your friends graduate, share something about it and other things of that nature, because this feed and how AI works today is the more you do, the more you will be seen, right? That group, those job boards, right? The more you come into it, the more featured ones will be highlighted versus if you're not into the algorithm so much. The last thing is I'm going to click on network because you're going to then be able to, let's just do here and load, please. All right. So we go into network, you're going to see your networks here, right? You're going to see those that are similar to any groups or maybe that you met in groups. Those pages is the terminology in LinkedIn, that Queens, that CBiz that I showed, right? Those profiles that I alluded to. But the catch up thing is probably one of my favorites for networking. You could see here, it's Donna's birthday yesterday. Same with Sandy's. People that have, gotten new jobs or accolations at those. If you've ever been on the site before and maybe came here as a refresher or first time, let's go here. I'll click on Michelle, a friend of mine, just to go see this post, right? Oh, I haven't liked it yet? That's horrible of me. Let's go ahead and do so. But then what's cool about it is that I go into the comments. Previously, I could have commented as well. And these comments, some of them, like that's not someone took the time to put the emoji, but you're noticing that some, maybe not, right? Some of them could just be that generated with AI. It's doing so is so easy within a click of a button, right? And the lasting effects that will do to help with your network is priceless. All right, so we're going to go back into the slide deck. The reason for that, drum roll, is I saw some questions be coming in. We're going to address to them right now, but this is the best time for everyone to jot down some key contacts, as well as again that URL at the bottom of the page here. I'll actually throw it into the chat, and I will also throw into the chat my email, so you all don't have to copy it down. No, I'm going to open up the questions right now and start taking them. But we're sure questions will come up, right? Whether you're using LinkedIn and just career discovery altogether. So if it's any questions that you think will be a best fit, especially around Vault, feel free to reach out to me. Or, when you actually go get your LinkedIn profile created, definitely connect as well. And then for those that don't have the content information already, just the general, Center for Career Engagement and Internship email there too. Now let me scroll to the top here, see some, questions. So we had a section that says, what if you transferred universities at a certain point? You could put as many educations there. You would just put that as, just to say, I'll just use easy numbers. You were there 2000 to 2020 to 2021, and then you're going to graduate 2024. You just put those times and it shows that you went ahead. You could even then talk about maybe some of the things you obtained at that. Like for me, for example, I went to a Westchester Community College, got some courses there before I went to SUNY Plattsburgh. That would be something you list. But no, they give you as many options as possible because let's just say you then continued on your career education and the job you wanted required some form of master's and you wasn't going in, the CUNY, you would put that too. All right, the question that I always get asked, and I know it didn't come into the chat as well, but I'm gonna just highlight it and continue to tell people before we end today. If you do have any questions, that you feel free to ask or reach out to us directly. A common question though about LinkedIn and just networking in general is, do you just stop once you get your job? And even if you're in the job for like a very long time and you're comfortable, no, and I think LinkedIn recognized that as well with that catch-up feature, as I briefly highlighted. You always want to touch base with people. Luckily for some of us, as you'll grow in your career, there's engagement opportunities to do so, such as I have a conference coming up where I see peers within career services as well. But if you don't have the ability, or you lose connections with some of your classmates, it's the best way of a simple happy birthday, hope all is well, or hey, saw you get a new job, they hiring? LOL. Is always the easy way to stay connected, both with the college and your career discovery. Yeah, so we got a question about the YouTube channel. Personally, I don't know the name of that, but I'm sure you will get the link sent directly to you after the session ends.
Frank, thank you so much for the presentation. I think an earlier question was, what is premium for?
Yeah, so premium is let's see if they give you like a little snapshot here. Free trial premium for $0. Yeah, of course you do. So first thing you see here is they really pitch because they know that I am in a sales role. Do I want this premium to use as part of my job search, personal goals, or to grow, as it says, my company's page presence? Basically, use it as you see here to drive sales. What it really gives you the ability, it will give you the certain amount if I went to like use just for here, right? And go next. Some of it will allow you to, if you ever heard of LinkedIn Learning, will give you some access to some of their courses. But here it's really going to give you, I'm trying to see like, yeah, contact new leads, but to find and to develop confidence and skills. Basically, if I just all went out of it, it's going to allow you to actually message these people, right? No character limit. So you could send to all the recruiters you find, hey, Jeff, hey, I would love to connect with you. Here's my resume. They're called in-mails within the system. But personally, I've gotten a lot of in-mails as well. And people tend to reject it as, if you're not coming at someone with, something of value and you're trying to cheat the system by, buying it. I think a lot of people like us, we overlook that today. We look right through it, excuse me. Yeah, so LinkedIn allows you once you get to build up your profile, actually does allow you to send some messages, but at a character limit. So in my opinion, how often should one utilize LinkedIn? Searching for a job while other using cursor. You should. I hate to say it, there is no end all be all resource. I think Eleanor and team could attest to that. That's why there's so many ed tech products on the market. We all have our niche. You'll find things that fit you well. In my job search, I utilize LinkedIn heavily for the networking, and then other tools that were more specific to sales for those types of jobs, right? Yeah, there's a lot of them, and sometimes it could be discouraging, but career service is the best way to tell you which tool is best for what your needs are. An assessment, do something around this. Career discovery and employer research, Vault's a great fit for that as well. I use LinkedIn daily. I need it obviously for my job and just to stay connected. But I think when it comes to like the connecting, I spend at most 10 minutes on it. I try not to stay as heavily on social media, but return to it frequently so it doesn't forget about me. Like to reference like a dating app, you're seen more on a dating app the more you turn to that dating app, right? The swipe for a swipe, I guess they'll say. All right, any final questions?
I think the last question was how I know that people can connect with me, Jocelyn Holsterin. How I know that people connect with me.
Yeah, how will you know when people connect with you? First of all, you'll get a notification. Hey, someone wants to connect, just like they'll get the notification when you do. And then you'll see it on your profile as it continues to build up. People will find you when you start joining those groups or if you post something, right, organically. But notifications all get sent around.
Absolutely. When you guys download the app, the LinkedIn app, that's when you'll get notifications. And there's also what's good about in the search box, if you click on it, if you at an event and you want to connect quickly with somebody, you just click on the search box, you will get your own QR code. You can either scan someone's or let them scan yours. So that's the quickest way in order like to type and look for them for the person. That's the quickest way to connect with the person.
It has eliminated business cards at conferences.
Yes.
You just scan your QR code of your profile.
Right. So, we strongly recommend LinkedIn. It's like the new Rolodex, so to say. That's, if anybody knows what the Rolodex used to be, where we used to keep business cards. But a LinkedIn is perfect. You connect with person. If person moves on, you know what the person is moving on to, right? Where they're heading to and so on. So it's amazing. And for someone who said that you need to have a LinkedIn to connect to people, not always. There are ways to get around and connect with those people, either through the groups they're part of and so on, but that's probably part of another conversation. But there are ways to connect with or emails or reach out to people. Sometimes when we search someone, I cannot see it. You mean, Jocelyn, sometimes when you search for a certain person? I mean, if you ever need help, you can always schedule an appointment with us at the Career Center with one of the career coaches, and we'll, more than happy to walk you through it and see what's happening on your end, what you see on your end. And yeah, and hopefully that will be resolved and you'll get more. On LinkedIn Learning too, is anybody on LinkedIn Learning? So LinkedIn has a component that says LinkedIn Learning. You can take courses there for free if you log into Queens College. Log into Queens College website. And so they do have recordings there that you can watch on how to use LinkedIn and, to advance your searches and everything. Yes, can graduated students, if you graduate within 1 year, so if you somebody who graduated 2024 till now, you have 1 year. After you graduate, you have 1 year to schedule an appointment with us. Yeah, so you need for this app, you gotta, play around with it with the app, Jocelyn, and you'll get used to it. So trust me, it took me time too. In the beginning when I downloaded, when I had LinkedIn, I couldn't figure out what it was. I left it for years, couple of years, and then I came back to it, and I'm heavily using it now. So you just have to find your way how to use it. Any other questions? All right. Right, as you know, questions. Well, Frank, thank you so much for the presentations. Very helpful. I was following along too and learning a few things. So thank you so much, Frank. And everyone, there's another workshop this Wednesday. And for those especially who are graduating or who graduated just this a week ago or last Thursday, it's how transitioning from a student to a professional. So definitely join that one as well. Thank you, everyone, and have a great week.
Take care, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye-bye.